Sup, Nerdmigos? I'm the Jive Talking Nerd, John Norgrove. We've got Wife here, so we literally just got back from watching Ready Player One, which is directed by Steven Spielberg. The book is written by Ernest Cline. If you haven't read the book, go read the book before you see the movie.
No. Read the book after you see the movie, so you have no complaints.
That's stupid. Always read the book first.
Read it after. It'll make you so much happier. As an adaptation, I think for a book is really good. Being a reader, a lot of books that get turned into movies are really just terrible. So this one, there were things that were different, but I really enjoyed it. The world was fantastic. The CGI was not too much. I didn't feel like, but if you...
There was an incredible amount of CGI. There was...
No.
Okay,
I mean, the CGI
There was
definitely well done.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
There was definitely too much CGI, and the way that they were able to get away with this is by essentially forcing... So anytime you're in the Oasis, it's like a high CGI situation.
Yeah.
And so they were able to get away with it. I mean, like, was the CGI good? I mean, for the movie, yeah. But when you really look at the way the characters were done and stuff like that, I mean, that's like 10-year-old CGI.
But they're supposed to look like characters.
But they're making us believe that it's supposed to look like that in there.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what they're doing. So it's like forgivable, because there are definitely some spots where the CGI was like, okay. But it's sort of within the realm. Like, they did a good job, sort of like, because they cut fairly large chunks from the book.
Like, a lot.
Like, big chunks out of the book.
And they actually changed some major elements.
And they changed, they made it so the Oasis, it's clear that you can tell that Steven Spielberg knows what the fuck he's doing, because what he did was he set up a situation where it's like, you can't really complain about the CGI. You can't really complain about the stuff they cut out of the book. Like, he did a good job with what he chose to do, and did an excellent job removing the bits he chose to remove.
I agree with that entirely.
There are issues with the CGI. There are issues with the plot. But within the confines of the movie, you technically don't have a place to complain.
Yeah.
Because it was a good movie. And I mean, I'm acting as a naysayer here. And in all reality, my only complaint is like, you tried a little hard with the references?
But that's the way the book is.
But no, I understand that the book's that way.
That's how it is.
It comes off as try-hardy, like, look at this. Look at this. Especially for the references that they had to change due to licensing agreements.
Yeah.
It was very like, we didn't get the thing from the book, but like, look at these 12 other things. And stuff like that. And like, there were a couple, the Overwatch reference was like...
Fantastic. I liked it.
It was very like Han Solo in episode 7, where like, it paused for like a beat. For like half a second on the character before moving on, and I'm just like, oh, that wasn't an obvious pause in like a camera movement shot. It's like, oh, you passed over fucking Battletoads back there, but you stopped for this lady?
Because more people are gonna know what that is.
All right, motherfucker. Like, so that's where it came off a little try-hardy for me.
See,
but even that,
so.
It's not bad.
Because that's how the book is. The
no,
book
it is.
Pop culture references, bam, 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 one after the other. The only real complaint that I have about the movie is actually not really a complaint about the movie, but really more of a complaint about the book, which is this movie won't withstand 15 to 20 years. And if it does, it's only going to withstand 15 to 20 years within the people who are old enough to remember these pop culture references. Growing up in the 80s and being like a teenager in the 90s, I get every single reference. It's amazing. But like, our kids, they're not going to get it, like, unless we teach them. And even then, it's not going to be special to them. So as generations go on, I think this movie and even the book are really going to kind of fall by the wayside, and they're really going to date themselves. That's really the only complaint that I have, but there's nothing that Steven Spielberg could have done with that. It's just going to be one of those movies where, like, you're talking about it in, like, 20 or 30 years, and people are like, oh, I hate that movie. It doesn't make sense, and I don't get it. And it's like, well, yeah, because you don't know any of that.
I mean, when you think about it that way, like what is somebody 20 years from now gonna think when they see this movie? But somebody who's like our age
in 20
years, and it's not a great plot. and it's kind of like reductive of the whole gamer culture, and it's like the movie and the book. So this is no dig on the movie because I thoroughly enjoyed the movie.
And the book is good
it was
too.
super fun,
That's
right?
Just the only complaint I have.
The whole idea, the concept behind it, is like relegated to like maybe a 20-year span of human existence.
Yeah.
And then anybody outside of that 20-year span. And I mean, there are young kids who are going to get over watching a couple of references, but like they don't know what Battletoads is and they didn't get, this guy over here. And so there's going to be little stuff like that that's missed. If the studio were smart, and they're not, they tend not to be, what they would have done was signed a multi-movie deal and legitimately every 20 years, fucking remake the movie.
That would be cool.
With brand new references.
I think that would be really interesting.
Right? It would be hard to do.
It does.
But because, I mean, like, if you make a Star Wars reference or Star Trek reference,
but you know what?
that
They
shit's
can't
timeless.
really do
but an
that.
Iron Giant reference isn't timeless.
Well, and most of those references aren't timeless.
Most of those references aren't timeless.
Like,
yeah.
there's a scene, and this is...
there was a mention of the Millennium Falcon, but there really wasn't even a heavy Star Wars reference.
Well, there's a lot of other pop culture references, like Easter eggs, if you will, within the movie that just I don't think people are really going to get in 20 or 30 years. Like, who is going to know?
Oh, they're not going to get it in fucking 10 years.
Harley
Some of those
Quinn's
references.
look from the Batman Arkham Asylum games.
Yeah.
I know it. Most of y'all know it, but like, are people going to know that in like 10 years? There's a lot of stuff in there like that. So I think that's a good idea of having them like remake it every 10 or 20, 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
But the thing is the book is entrenched in the pop culture from the era. If you completely,
you could
if Ernest Cline
jump into
rewrote the book
90s.
every 15 or 20 years, no, because everything is based in the 80s.
I know, but
everything. I was alive in the 80s.
Move everything.
Everything was
Move
there.
everything forward 10 years. It doesn't matter.
You have to rewrite the whole book.
Not really.
Yeah, you do.
No, the references are super. I mean, the book's
You have
not
to rewrite
complicated.
the whole
it's a
book.
very simple book.
That's like taking Star Wars Episode 4 and turning it into Star Wars Episode 7. You have to rewrite the whole thing, but the basic premise is still there. It's a lot of work. Either way.
Clearly, it's not a lot of work. Episode 7 sucked. So, yeah. Apparently, it's not a lot of work, and you become a fucking millionaire. I'm just putting that out there.
But we digress. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fantastic. I would see it again, and I would see it in 3D.
I'd see it in 3D, yeah. There were a couple of parts where the camera was like... I don't know if they were, like, it clearly wasn't from somebody's point of view, but it was kind of doing that, like, overly Hollywood, like, human gate walk camera shake thing. And I'm just like, oh, fucking okay.
There were a couple of weird
camera shits that might get wonky in 3D. Like, when I was thinking about that, where I'm just like, I imagine in 3D that would be dizzying. But, I mean,
I don't know.
We'll probably go see it in 3D. I mean, it was enjoyable. It was fun. Whatever.
It was fantastic.
Yeah,
I would
it was good.
absolutely watch it again. It was a great adaptation to the book, although there were some major elements that were changed.
Yeah.
In light of that, I was okay with those. This is a
full spoiler-free review.
Yeah.
So,
no spoilers.
No spoilers
I'm not
here.
telling you about anything.
But if you saw the movie, let us know below.
Yeah. Tell us what you thought of it.
Tell us what you thought. I mean, the standard is some number out of 10 for numbering, and I mean, I'd probably give this like a 7 out of 10. It's
I'd give it like a good solid 8 or 9 out of 10.
It's good. There were some parts, like the main bad guy being like chin jacked suit in the Oasis.
But that's his avatar.
No. That's not a complaint. Was like amazing. Like I loved that part. But then there are some parts where I'm kind of like, all right, like that's good. I like it, But
I did
whatever.
Not have a problem with
So
it.
there were a couple of parts that were sort of like where I was kind of like, all right, like this is just kind of happening. Like I'm not super entrenched. And then there are parts like whenever that guy's on screen, and I'm just like, fuck yes. The bad guy is so like 80s cartoon bad guy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There's also a lot of like squee moments if you consider yourself like a geek or a nerd or whatever you consider yourself like that. If you understand pop culture references or like video games in any way, shape, or form, or movies, then there's a lot of references where you're just like, blowing your mind.
Yeah.
And you can barely handle it. It's really cool.
It was definitely pretty good. I mean,
in my opinion, it hits all of the major fandoms. Although I didn't see anything that was overtly Doctor Who.
There was no Doctor Who.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But
there
there
also wasn't any Star Trek in there either.
Yeah, there was. The guy was in the coffin.
What do you mean?
He was dead. That's not a spoiler. That's the premise of the book. And he gets up from the coffin, and it's like Star Trek symbols. It's like the Church of Star. It's a whole scene.
The Church of Star Trek scene. That's more of a Futurama reference than a Star Trek reference.
That is incredibly a Star Trek reference.
No, in Futurama, the church that ruined religion was the Church of Star Trek.
But it's still Star Trek. It is a double reference, and there's some of those also besides that.
Yeah, it was good. I mean,
I thought it was fantastic.
I enjoyed it. I liked it. It's one of those movies where it's like, if you're gonna make a movie like this, like, you almost have to kind of pick it apart.
No, you don't.
Specifically because they're like, we're gonna have all these references in it, and it's like, just wait. Give it a couple of months for some motherfuckers to like get this out there. But it's gonna be like, all right, scene for scene, like there's this many references in this.
I would like to see a list of all the references.
There's this many references in this scene. Like that's what I mean. Like where they're gonna start really digging into it. I kind of want to see how many times they had to duplicate references. Simply because there are so many scenes where there's so much stuff
it's
on
so hard
the screen
to take it in.
that like they had to have just been like, all right, can we just throw like 8 Supermen into this? Just like 8 Supermans and like 14 Batmans. Like let's just fucking load it up because we got like we need 20 references and we got 90 characters. So we're gonna duplicate some shit.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like we're gonna get that. They had like multiple Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle references.
Yeah.
Both newer and older. I mean, it was good. They did a good job bringing some of like the newer stuff in for young kids. I feel like they probably didn't do a good enough job.
Probably not, but I don't really know those references.
I don't fucking care about young kids or whatever, but like there are some scenes where I'm just like, that's for the young ones. I mean, it's a real shit movie, but that's for the young kids. Good for them. The rest of this movie's confusing, but that one, they got that one right there. You know? I mean, they're just because when like a couple of the like newer IO sort of stuff
I didn't think it was that bad.
There wasn't a lot of it, and I don't know if the goal was like, all right, we just got to let them have some stuff, or if the goal was like, should we try to get young people to watch this?
It probably was.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Either way, I think they did a fantastic
you know what?
job. I don't really have any other complaints.
The best part of this movie, I'm going to say, is the PG-13 version of the Deadpool trailer that aired before it, because the Deadpool trailer, the newest Deadpool trailer, where he's running into Dojender's car and like beating that guy to death with a brick in his hand and stuff like that. They have a PG-13 version of that trailer. Go out, find it, and watch it. It was ridiculous. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
The way they edited it out so much.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, that was a pretty good part. I liked all the actors did a great job. The main guy, not the main, like the old guy who invented the Oasis, whatever. He did a great job being like the most socially awkward human to have ever existed throughout time.
Yeah.
Like deep disturbed socially awkward, where you're just like, oh yeah, okay, cool, that's how you're gonna.
Yeah,
be
like
nice.
I don't know if that guy actually knows how.
I thought
function as a
I'm just
real
like, is
person.
this? We got jokes? Is this a joke? Like, no human is this awkward of a person. Like it was like there were a couple of parts where it was bad, but no, it was really good. Simon Pegg's in the fucking movie, which is amazing. Somehow I missed that. He's like fucking 4th on the bloody poster or whatever.
I didn't realize he was in it.
I didn't realize he was in it at all.
We freaked out.
Yeah, I'm a huge Simon Pegg fan, so that was exciting. But yeah, either way, I super enjoyed this movie. I think you guys should watch it. Comment below if you do watch it.
Tell us what you thought.
Yeah, tell us what you thought. But again, I've been John Norgrove. This has been Wife. This is immediately after watching a review of Ready Player One. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. And we'll catch you later. Stay nerdy, folks.